what's going on? Welcome. Thank you guys for tuning in. Thanks for telling your friends. Thanks for sharing us online. You have found Alternative Discussion West. Very excited to introduce my guest today. We've been pretty close friends over the last 5 to 10 years. This is the one and the only Mr. Tony Shrum. What's going on, man?
Hey, how's it going?
Hey, dude.
It's pretty good.
Pretty stoked to have you out here this evening. Should be a good time getting a little bit of your story going here. We met 7, 8, 9 years ago out in Martinez when you moved out there, but you started, grew up, your early years, you were born in Germany.
Yep, Frankfurt, Germany. There's actually 2 Frankfurts in Germany, and I was Frankfurt on Main. I can't remember what the other one is. Very unimportant.
Is that like the difference of like south and north?
It was the river that it's on. Like the Frankfurt that I was born in was on Main River, right? I think so, yeah.
And you ended up there, military family.
Yep, both parents were in the military. At that point, it was just my dad. And
what branch?
Dad was Air Force, and then my mom went through like Air Force, Navy, then Army. Wow. She was all over the place. Yeah, she was jack of all trades.
Quite a history. Quite a history, it sounds like, with her. Yeah. So then you move into the United States. You're born in 1984, Frankfurt, and you moved to the U.S. a few years after that?
Yeah, a couple years after. My brother was born over there as well, and then we moved to Little Rock, Arkansas, or Jacksonville, Arkansas is where they were stationed. But a lot of my family, both my parents were from that area as well, so that was kind of home.
That's
home was Arkansas.
You just have one sibling?
I got 2 sisters and 1 brother.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you move in
bunch of them.
To an area around Little Rock, late 80s.
Yeah.
Is Bill Clinton the governor at that time?
I don't. He probably is. He probably is. I was too young to know anything, but he was somewhere. He was doing his thing.
He was in and around, I'm sure.
Yeah, but I mean, we were out in the country. We didn't know anything. Like lived under a rock.
So you were pretty rural? Would you say?
Yeah. Our neighbor. We had one neighbor on our street. There was a lot of people on our street. Not a lot, but the closest one was like right next to us, and we had like horses and stuff. But like it was just me, my brother, and my sister. Were just
big property, like
it was 10 or so acres.
Wow.
But there was nothing. Like you weren't walking to a store. You weren't doing anything. Like one time, me and my brother tried to sell like trading cards, like a little garage sale, yard sale type of thing in front of our house.
And business wasn't too hot.
No, one guy I think felt bad for us. He drove by and he was like bought a card for like 25 cents, but he gave us a 20. And we were just like, what the fuck are we supposed to do with this?
Wasn't no change in the register.
So we ran inside. No, there was no change. So we ran inside, excited as hell. And like my stepmom at the time, like gave us like change for it. And then we gave him his 1975. And then we had like the quarter. And
split that a few ways.
Yeah, what was happening? We
paid
had the
your
quarter.
rent and overhead.
Yeah, I don't know math very well. But we had all her change from it. And we thought we made that much money. Not knowing we still had to give her all her money back.
Yeah, and take a quarter.
Like, yeah, it was terrible. But that was fun out there in the middle of nowhere.
It was small town life.
Yeah.
And that was elementary school?
Yeah, that was elementary school up until 6th grade. I think up until 6th grade. Lived in a little tiny town, bunch of churches.
And then you moved somewhere else in the South at that point?
We moved to Tennessee. Me and my brother went to go live with our mom, I think, after 6th grade. Just packed it up, left. Yeah.
That offer was on the table and you decided it'd be cooler to live in Tennessee?
Yeah, kind of. Well, there was like this child abuse stuff going on. Not my dad, my stepmom at the time. And we were old enough to where they gave us the choice. They were like, okay, do you want to go live with your mom or do you want to stay here with your dad? And then me and my brother like immediately were just like, oh, we want to go live with our mom.
We're ready to go.
Yeah. So we moved. Left our sister there, or left both of our sisters there, kind of. It's kind of sad. But then, like, we just took all our stuff in, like, some black garbage bags, met halfway in Tennessee. Yeah, it was like,
threw it over a stick over your shoulder.
Yeah, and my dad was bummed about it, but I mean, living with my mom was like it was a totally different path. Like, I wouldn't have gone down this road that I have, which I think I enjoyed more than if I stayed with him.
Than working with your dad.
Yeah, but he was cool.
So you end up in Tennessee. You're what, 10 years old?
This
If that?
Yeah, seventh. No, I think I was a little older. 7th grade. What are you in 7th? Maybe I was about 12 or 13.
Okay.
Yeah, 12 or 13.
And you're in Tennessee, and you stay there.
We stayed there for 2 years.
So you start high school there?
I started middle school. It was
Middle
weird.
school, okay.
Yeah, because there was like some places had junior high, some people had middle school, some people had both. I think that was just middle school, high school.
How would you say you did in school at that time?
I was probably a C student.
See?
Yeah.
Didn't strive for much more than that.
No, yeah. It's like whatever it took to get through class. And like there was no, I think me and my brother played like soccer and stuff, but like nothing really crazy.
So just a very mellow athletic background.
Didn't go to like
no
school
scholarships
dances.
as far as I...
didn't nothing. I mean, if we wanted to go to Harvard or something, they'd look at our stuff like, you didn't do anything.
What do you remember from music back then? Was there country radio? I mean, what did your mom listen to in the house?
Yeah. Okay. So I got into music pretty late. I think at the beginning it was lots of country. Lots of like just all
that's
country,
just what everybody listened
Nashville.
to.
Yeah, it was like that was all the stations pretty much. There was a station that had like R&B, but it was all country until like when I got to Tennessee, we started like that was when I was telling you before, like I bought my first CD. It was like Spice Girls.
Oh
CD.
yeah,
I had both Spice Girls
as
CDs.
a first CD. Everyone think about your first CD and imagine that.
Yeah, Spice Girls. Tell me what you want.
What was Spice Up Your Life on that album or the second album?
That was on the.
Or is that on the soundtrack for the movie?
I think that was on their second one, Spice World.
Okay,
but I'm not sure. I can't remember. But I also had the Men in Black soundtrack, which was great.
So just pop music.
Yeah, up until that point. Yeah, that was it. That was.
But
everything.
that was your first exposure to owning your own music and having your
Yeah.
own discs, your
Yeah.
own, your own library.
Yeah, own CDs. Go to Walmart and get like the edited version of that DMX album.
Yeah.
Very different.
So hip hop,
lyrics.
you took a liking to hip hop early.
I did like hip hop. In fact, the first parental advisory CDs me and my brother got were I think he got Limp Bizkit's Insignificant Other.
Yeah, Significant Other, Limp Bizkit. That's
Korn,
like
Follow
99
Leader.
or something.
Yeah,
or
99.
98. Yeah.
Yep, 98, 99. And we listened to those, and then we ended up switching because I liked the hip hop more than the
Korn.
Yeah, yeah. But then, like after a while, like he started liking hip hop more than I do, and he's even text me and stuff like, "Hey man, you gotta check this person out," and then I just tell him.
Oh, he's still up to date with it.
Yeah,
hip hop.
Yeah. So that was it. That was music for us at that point.
And that's in the South. So you end up moving back to Germany, though.
Yep. 2 years after being in Tennessee, we moved to Germany.
And that's with your mother and your brother.
Yep. Mother, brother, and stepdad at the time.
Okay.
We were.
And that's once again military job.
Yep.
Got to go.
Yep. Which was nice. And then normally people like will stay a place. Like when we were in Tennessee, you stay for 2 to 4 years, and that's it.
That's an assignment.
Yeah, and that's it. But when she got to Germany, she just kept like extending her I get what do they call it?
Job.
I can't remember. Yeah, whatever they called it then. I lost all the military terms for things. But yeah, she extended her stay in Germany for like 10 years.
And that's in Kaiserslautern.
Kaiserslautern, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
So what do you remember? So at that point, you're in high school.
Yeah, that was 9th grade for me, 8th for my brother. And that's where...
You don't remember
grew
anything
up.
of Germany going back, since you only lived there a few years.
Yeah,
in your
when I was
life,
a little
right?
kid.
And
Like,
it's a brand new
I
thing.
don't know. Yeah, like then when I was born, it was West and East Germany still. I don't remember any of that. But I got back, it was just one Germany.
So you're excited to get over there, or are you kicking and screaming the whole way?
I think I was a little of both.
Yeah.
Because I'd never been over there, but I was like also excited. Like I know, like I think one thing that they were amping us up about is like, oh, you were born there, you get to see where you're born, blah blah. I think that was one thing, but I think we were pretty open to it. Like,
yeah,
I
it
mean,
wasn't nothing holding you
yeah.
back in 8th grade to...
Yeah, because I mean, we were at that point we were sort of used to moving around. Like I mean, we moved from I didn't remember moving from Germany to Arkansas, but Arkansas to Tennessee, and I was like, okay, we're here for 2 years. Moved to Europe.
Yeah, you're used to the routine.
Yeah, and a lot of our
getting up and
friends in the military community, you know, you meet people for like 2 to 4 years, then they leave, then you meet someone new, then they leave. Then you meet someone new, they leave, you leave, everybody leaves.
Yeah.
This is like constant.
I mean, I guess that kind of ends up...
So you don't really have any like lasting friendships. You just make a lot of friendships, and it's like not that you sever those ties. You just move on. You just like go
And go
into
find
different-
new.
Yeah,
Whatever
you go
new
do
is.
your new life or whatever. So you see that person maybe later, and you're like, oh shit, and you kind of catch up, and you might have gone like totally separate paths. You might not have, and still friends.
Yeah,
with them.
I mean, it's really cool, and I think it ties in a lot to what you've done, throughout your history and music
Yeah.
and running around, and always being
Yeah,
on the go.
constantly.
You've never
constantly moving.
never been afraid to pack up the bags.
Yeah, but I learned a lot over in Germany, in Europe in general, just like the mindset and the culture.
So the high school you go to in Germany, is that on base?
Yeah, it was an American
so it's an English-speaking high school.
Yeah, and it was kind of like a private school. Like if you had the money, you could pay. If you were like not an American citizen, you can pay to go to the school, which I don't know why you would, because they weren't technically very good schools. It was just like a Department of Defense. School.
I mean, how big was the class?
My graduating class was like 150 to 180 people.
So it wasn't too small, but I mean, it wasn't a large high school by any means.
No, not at all. But it was, I mean, we graduated in like this old, like, it was called Fruchthalle, which, I don't know, like a concert hall type of thing. It was pretty cool. It was like in the downtown Germany, like, or Kaiserslautern, Germany area.
And you're saying living there, you found some
I found
some culture from Germany that you took with you. And what would you say that was, or what was inspiring about being there, or good life lessons you may have caught over there?
You appreciate things like your like surroundings and everything. Like, I mean, recycling's a big thing over there. Like, they're one of the leaders in recycling. Apparently, that's what someone told me. They'd probably just say that, but it was cool over there because you appreciate other cultures. Because like over there, like in Europe, everything is just like smashed together. Like there's people speaking different languages and like totally different views on things. And over here, you're kind of isolated. Like, it's America, and then you have Mexico, and you have Canada. Canadians are pretty similar to Americans, like our white Americans or whatever. You see them, and you can't really differentiate them as easily as someone from South America. You can be like, okay, that person's probably from South America. This person's from Canada, U.S., whatever. But you go over there, and you meet all these people, just this big melting pot.
That are all from all over Europe and all over.
And like, you appreciate that, like, because you learn things about them. Not only do you taste different foods, but you learn different customs, and you learn like, okay, when you see this person, you act a certain way somewhat. And
it's probably, I mean, it's a great lesson just to realize, we're not all the same.
Yeah,
you know?
and like everything,
and there's more out
different.
there.
Yeah, and when you ride around, you don't really hit like a shopping center type of thing. Like, you see a mall or a strip mall, and it's all like the same
thing.
thing.
What we're used to here in the West.
And you could be in Seattle, or you could be here, and you could look at this little strip mall, and someone could be like, where are you at right now? And you could be like, I have no idea. Anywhere in America.
Yeah.
It could be anywhere.
Oh, sure. Yeah, they look the same everywhere you go. It's the same chain restaurants, the same chain stores, the same Target, Walmart.
Yeah.
That does get old.
Yeah, and it's all the same language, too. So when you go somewhere in Europe and they just plop you down, you could just be like, okay, I can see by the language it's possibly this place, but then you can also, geography-wise, like, there's a lot of things, and there's not like a strip mall situation for the most part. Like, advertising's not as huge. I imagine if I go over there now, maybe it's like kind of catching on, sort of. I hope not. But it was really cool to like be able to see different cultures and like
and have
like
that experience.
Yeah.
So you lived there until we're talking 12 or 13 years old, and you end up living there 10 years at that point?
Yeah, 10 years. I didn't leave until my mom left. I came back for a year and a half for like college or whatever, but I was just like...
You didn't want to leave?
No. Like, because when I came back, I was like, all right, I'm going back to the States. This is where I live now. And then I got here, and I was like, oh, man, this is not into this. And then just went back, like, Mom, I want to go back. And she's like, okay. So I went back, and I just stayed there till she got stationed in Southern California, and that's all. Like, I mean, I worked on base, and, like, I had to get, like, this visa for work that would allow me to, like, live there more than, 6 months or something.
You never had interest in joining the military yourself?
No. I think my mom asked me several times about that, and I was like, it's not for me. That's not my thing. Like,
but you appreciated the program and the culture.
I did. There's a lot of it I appreciate, and then there's a lot of things I don't like about it. But I don't know. Like, if somebody wants to join the military, I won't badmouth them or tell them they're stupid.
Talk them out of it.
Like, that's wrong. Like, if that's your thing, that's your thing. And
it didn't call to you.
No, it didn't call to me. Yeah. And if somebody asks my opinion about it, I'll tell them.
Yeah, happily address them.
Just try and do something else.
I think it's case by case for sure.
Yeah.
So you end up coming back to the States. You said to Southern California. Is that where you land first?
That's where Mom lands, and I land in good old Martinez,
California.
Yeah.
And you move in with your uncle, and this is around the time we end up meeting you.
Yep.
Your uncle, he's kind of established in the downtown scene there.
Yeah, he has a guitar shop. He's a music man of the city-ish. Like, he's one of the people.
He's in the art programs. And,
yeah,
and Martinez is a really cool city for those that haven't been
cool.
there in Northern California. Just a small river town that has quite a bit going on.
Yeah, kind of a little tiny music scene, but he was a big part of that. Like, he had his blues jam at Armando's.
And that's in what year?
That was 2009.
Okay, so 2009, we land in Martinez, a little music town. Your uncle is who you're going to be living with. He's involved in the arts and the community. We're going to take a quick break and then come on back and get Tony's story here living in Northern California. See what he ends up doing here with the experience at his uncle's guitar shop and kind of explain how we all met. So we'll be right back with a little more with Tony. All right, we are back here with my guest, Tony Shrum, today. We're just getting into him moving to Northern California in the beautiful, quaint town of Martinez. Okay, so you end up working at your uncle's guitar shop when you move into town. Mm-hmm. What was the name of that shop?
Good Stuff Guitar Shop.
That's right, and that's right on, what street was that on? Ferry?
It was Main. 511 Main Street. No longer there, though, so don't go down there.
No need for the advertisement.
Unless you want a tattoo or whatever they're putting in.
Are they doing that now?
Yep.
So you end up in the guitar shop, and what are you doing there? Just day-to-day sales? Just kind of running the
organizing
register?
Things, okay. Pretty much, yeah. I run the register and then, organize the shop. Clean up his files and stuff.
He's doing lessons out of there at the time, right?
Yeah, he was doing lessons.
That's kind of where the main business is at?
Yep, exactly. Yeah, because he would just get a percentage of the lessons and stuff.
And this is guitar lessons, or?
Yeah, it was guitar, bass, piano, some of the brass instruments. But, yeah, he's doing all kinds of lessons.
Busy schedule.
He wasn't doing lessons. He had teachers that would do lessons. He did have some, harmonica lessons and stuff. But he was mainly doing like repairs, like guitars and stuff.
Okay, and just doing the day to day.
And I helped him with those a little bit, like building the nut for some of the guitars and just doing like string changes and everything.
Had you had any experience playing music?
I had not, no. In fact, he didn't pay me when I first worked there. It was like a volunteer type of thing. But he would like give me instruments and stuff. Like he'd give me ukuleles.
Yeah, I know you got a handful of guitars and stuff.
And then and then I started playing the ukulele. It's 4 strings, easy. And then I was like, all right, let's fill out the sound a little. Picked up a good acoustic, but I don't play it too much.
But you learned a little bit.
Yeah, it's
working
fun.
there.
Yeah.
So then also you mentioned that he was doing the blues jam, and I know that was over at a small club in Martinez called Armando's.
Yep.
And you end up kind of getting in there and helping out around there also, right?
Yeah, it was like at one of his blues jams, and I was like, oh, it'd be cool to like learn to do sound and stuff. And then he just introduced me to the sound guy that at one of the blues jams, and then he was like, if you want to come in, I'll just start teaching you how to do this. And I was like, okay.
And so you'd sit in for free and just watch what was going on.
Yeah, I would just go to the shows. I'd help him set up the stage, and I'd watch him mix the shows, set the levels for everything.
Plug in all the mics.
Yeah. And then he would like, whenever he was done, like I'd just watch him, like see what he does, and then he would just tell me later on, like he'd be teaching me like, okay, so whenever you're at this bar, do this, do that. And I just learned that way. And then after a while, just started doing my own shows with him.
So you end up becoming kind of a sound engineer.
Yeah.
And Armando's, it's a small club, but it's like a blues and jazz club.
Yeah, blues.
Probably holds 100 people.
Yeah, 100 at the most. Blues, jazz, Americana.
A folk.
Yeah, a bunch of old people in there.
But there's a lot. There's a lot of good musicians that come in there.
Yeah.
Even when you have some of the bigger festivals that are in the Bay Area, you'll see some of the bands that are playing those come in and play Armando's for a night. And I know one case of that was when Lucero came to town.
Yeah,
and they've played there a few times now, right?
Yeah, I think at least 3. There was 2 nights in a row because their show in Davis, I think it was Davis, with Social Distortion got canceled. So they were like, all right, we're on the road. We still want to play a show, a couple shows, I guess. And they played Armando's 2 nights in a row, and this is like sold out within.
It's like a Friday, Saturday night type thing too.
Yeah,
right?
it was. Yeah, and it was sold out. Like no, I think it might have been Tuesday, Wednesday, because it was on a day. I think one of them at least was on Tuesday because they never have shows on Tuesday. But this one they were just like, okay, yeah, we got to do this because those tickets sold out within 30 minutes to an hour of them going up.
And you ended up working all those shows. You were.
I did.
Kind of the sound engineer.
Yeah.
You never touched the soundboard.
I got paid to watch those shows because they had their own sound man. So like, I went in to work, and I was a little nervous because it's Lucero. I don't want to mess their sound up. But I get there and there's a sound man, and all I had to do was like point at everything, help him set up the stage, and then I just
sat back and drank beer.
I just sat back, drank beer like normal, and got paid to watch Lucero.
That was incredible. I was really lucky to have gotten into one of those shows. I remember it was sold out, and we showed up at the door. They're like, "Man, tickets are sold out." We're like, "No, we know Tony."
Yeah,
and all of a sudden, you slid through the door. And you're like, "Let him in!"
Yeah, at that point, I was really drunk.
It's like 5 of us just coming into a sold out show with like 75 people there.
It was fun. It was a fun show. And then the next night, they did it again.
Yeah, those
got paid again. Yeah, I'll work this one. I'll work this one too.
I'll happily come down and set up the
it's no trouble
again for these guys.
Yeah, but that was fun. In fact, okay, so that's where I actually met you guys at Armando's.
Yeah,
and that's how I started working at AMP. Like, because I was at the guitar shop working, and I guess Brett and Sean, and I don't know if you came in that day. If you came into the guitar shop, but
I don't think I ever saw you in the guitar shop.
Some of y'all came in. I know it was Brett, and then left. And then later on, I went over to go do sound at Armando's, and when I went down there, you guys like stopped in. It was you, Brett, I think Sean, and then someone else like came in, and then like left briefly. But before he left, he like came up to me and was like, "Hey, like you seem like you're into music, blah blah. I've seen you a couple times today. You should come down to the AMP office and check it out." And,
yeah, which was also there in downtown Martinez.
Yeah, that was around near Starbucks at that point, like
behind the Starbucks on Main.
Yep. So I went down there and just started, like, I don't know, I met Lisa and Jonathan were there at the time. And then I just started helping with content. Like, I first walked in there, there was nothing for me, really. They were just like, okay, here's the office. You want to start, like, writing, doing interviews, whatever. And then Jonathan was like, hey, like, I really need help, like, putting the content online.
Yeah, they were busy. They were running.
Yeah, because it was, like, 3 people running.
AMP magazine, Hales and Horns magazine.
Yep.
They were just kind of launching a whole lot of web stuff.
Yeah, I think they just started the web like a little before that. And Jonathan, he's trying to lay out the whole magazine while also putting stuff on the website. So I think me coming in and helping him put stuff up helped him a lot. So he was like, oh, yeah, have this guy keep coming.
And that's kind of what you and Sean...
Yep. And then they moved offices, and then I think Sean... I don't know. I think Sean showed up after that because they weren't in that office too long before they moved where I would go in and like sit at a desk and stuff. And at that point, Sean was in there as well because Sean lived a couple blocks away.
Yeah, so we all lived in Martinez at the time.
Yeah.
It was me and Lizette lived out here, and Sean lived out there at the time, and John Marshall.
Yeah.
Lisa lived in Martinez. Brett lived in Martinez. So there was like this a big, group of friends that was all there in downtown all the time.
Yeah, it was kind of weird too because it was like you go downtown Martinez and it was like antique shops and whatever, and then you have like this punk metal music magazine in the middle of everything. Yeah, I was like, what? What is this?
Yeah, so I guess that's why everyone found you, being part of the guitar shop and also Armando's, and then settling in at Amp Magazine, which that must have been about 2010 or so. Yeah,
I don't remember the exact year. I think it was 2010, 2011 or something.
Yeah, I was excited too, just to find out that there was something going on downtown that kind of had the alternative culture down there, and I was like, oh shit.
Yeah, I was very confused whenever I was walking into their office. I was like, this exists? Like, how is this in Martinez? But probably pretty affordable place.
Yeah, at the time, I think it made sense definitely at the time. Yeah. And that was right around the time that Civil War Rust was probably releasing The Fun and the Lonely. I think Brett helped a little bit with that.
Yeah, 2012.
And all that coming out. And, wow, 2012.
Yeah, it was 2012.
A little ways back, but we were prepping for that, and we were going on the road a little bit to, to Seattle and San Diego and doing the West Coast run as we always did. And you jumped in with us quite a few times on those
I did,
runs.
yeah. Like, I remember I was in the office when Sean, I think, was talking with Brett about like the album and touring and stuff, and I think Sean asked like, "Hey, you wanna go with us?" I was like, "Okay." I was like, all I was doing was working in my uncle's shop, doing sound at Armando's and
writing your own hours, basically picking up shifts.
Yeah, so like I could just leave like, "Hey, can someone else do sound these nights?" Whatever. So I was like, "Okay, yeah, I've never been to these cities," and then that's when I started hanging out with you guys more because I don't think I knew you as well as Sean at that point. It was like I didn't really know anybody else.
Yeah, you were kind of an intern.
It was just like, here's Sean. It's like, who is this?
And I would hang out there from time to time. I would come down and drink or hang out with you guys for a few hours in the evening. Usually not when you guys were actually working. In the office. But so we end up hanging out a lot more when we go on the road. I know we did a run down to VLHS with you in San Diego.
I think that was the first one too. It was no, the Way Out West Fest might have been the first one. Oh, that was the one, wasn't it, with French Exit and.
We played VLHS with French Exit and Bomb Pops and Mighty Fine.
Yeah, that was a cool show.
Yeah. So that was a good run, and then Way Out West Fest, where I connect a lot of things in a lot of our community to the Way Out West Fest. We met so many bands there.
It was fun. It was short lived, but it was great. It just wasn't making money.
I don't really understand why we all drove so far, but I'm glad we did at this point. Now it'd be like a festival in Tucson.
Yeah, you guys want to go to Tucson?
About that.
What?
It was definitely out of the way at the time, especially.
I don't know what that guy's doing. God bless him.
Billy Brooks. Great guy. Put on shout out Way Out West Fest. I think it lived 3 festivals.
Yeah. Did it do a third?
Yeah. So we end up we're running around with Civil War Rust and you in the van and traveling a lot. I mean, that ties in a lot to what you end up doing more. Yeah. So you end up getting a desk at Amp.
Yeah, got a desk.
You're doing web editing or web content.
Yeah, and I was doing that for free for a year or two.
Yeah,
and then once
that's just building pages and posting them and posting them on Facebook or whatever.
Making sure everything goes up. And one day Brett got a call from a subscriber that wasn't too happy about something, and then he gets off the phone. And he's like, turns to me, he's like, "Hey, you want to start getting paid?" I was like, "Yeah, that'd be pretty cool." And then he was like, "You want to start handling subscriptions?" And it's like, "Sure." So it's like after the phone call, it's like, "You want to start doing this?"
Probably
like,
the least.
Yeah, let's do that.
The last job you wanted at that point.
Yeah, but I kind of liked it too because I like organizing things and like
now you were saying a lot
spreadsheets
of,
and stuff.
A lot of letters would come to you to the magazine.
Oh yeah,
from people in jail.
Yeah, there'd be people in jail like subscribing to the magazine. It was more hails and horns, like more metal for
the metal called to the
prisoners love
incarcerated.
Prisoners love metal. But I would write them back. I was trying to be friendly, write them back. I felt like they were probably lonely sitting in like a room by themselves.
And you would handwrite these letters?
I would handwrite them. Yeah, they were handwritten to me. I'd sit there and read them, and then I would write them back. But then I stopped after I like researched one of them, and I was like looking up this guy's name because I don't know, it's kind of interesting, and I was like Googled his name and found out like he like murdered somebody. He's like left this dude. They found this dude in a pickup truck in the middle of the road, just slumped over his steering wheel, just shot in the head, and it was this dude.
And this is the guy you've been doing
this is the guy I was just fucking buddy with, and I was like, all right, man, I can't do this. It's like he's gonna find me. He's gonna get out. Come. Well, I don't know. Yeah, it's pretty weird. So I was like, I'm gonna stop.
Yeah. And so you land a little gig in AMP. As that office ends up closing in 2012, I think. AMP kind of slows down operations with them in Hales.
Into 2012.
And then so AMP slows down, and you guys end up
Yeah.
taking a couple of the crew members.
Yeah, Lisa leaves, and then I kind of take her position. But like after she left, like no print issues came out. I was just like captain of a sinking ship at that point, just steering that thing into the ground. Here we go.
Couldn't have asked for a better captain.
Yeah, I couldn't ask for a better captain.
So no, AMP Magazine did really well for many years, and totally love those guys. Big props to them. And then, so that ends 2012 with AMP kind of going down, and Lisa ends up starting New Noise at that point, which is where a lot of our listeners will know you from, is from New Noise Magazine. Yeah. Tony, Tyler, and Lisa end up kind of launching that in 2013. And
Jonathan was there as well. For a few.
Jonathan's doing some design at that point.
Yeah, it was Tyler and Jonathan were like tag team in the design and all the artwork and stuff. And then I would handle the web like usual, and then Lisa would handle print and ads and what she was
everything
handling.
She always does.
Yeah, so it kind of just picked up. Like, I mean, Lisa had all those contacts. All of them were excited to work with her, and like whenever she asked me about it, I was just like, whatever you want to do. Like, I would follow her to the edge of a cliff. I wouldn't jump. Yeah.
She might push you.
Yeah, she might. She'll grab my hand and we'll jump, and I'm like, okay, here we
jump
go.
Together.
Yeah, but I'll be like, Lisa, you sure you want to jump? Okay, let's.
Yeah, no, and New Noise takes off automatically. Lisa's been doing a great thing with them for years now, and I remember that all taking off, and how cool of a moment that was to watch something new arise and take straight off, man, and really hang in the...
Yeah, I think it was a perfect timing, because it was like... part of the reason AMP went down was because like we were hitting that recession where print was really dying, and I mean, it's kind of still somewhat of a decline, but like it hit that point where nobody was really spending money, like extra money on things. Like it was that recession, everybody's just like, all right, I don't have money to spend. Like people are losing their jobs. Yeah. So like whenever AMP or New Noise started, it was like during like an upswing, and everybody's like jobs are coming back, and people are making some more money they can spend on extra things. And
and like I said, it really took off quick. So we're gonna take another break here. New Noise, Lisa's based out of Northern California. You've got Tyler now in Portland. You're in Southern California, so you guys are spread out all over. We're going to talk a little bit about the day-to-day operations there at New Noise and what you do with them. And then we're going to talk about a little bit about La Escalera Records, who you've kind of teamed up with over the last few years, and started helping with their distro, their festival that they have every year in San Diego. So we'll be right back to talk a little bit more with Tony.
Every word you feel, scared so
right, we're back with Tony here. Just kind of heard of his 3 or 4 years he lived in the Bay Area, working with Amp Magazine, working down at Armando's in Martinez. And then we're getting into starting New Noise Magazine, and that's 2013. You move to Southern California, kind of at the start of that, right?
Yeah, few months after it starts, I moved down to Southern California to be with my girlfriend, who I actually met on a Civil War tour down there.
There you go, on a road trip with the band.
Yeah, you guys are making things happen.
Yeah, we've met some good people on the road, I would agree. Oh. So you end up moving down there. Like I said just before we cut, you guys are kind of based all over. You've got outlet in Northern California with Lisa. You've got you in Southern California. Tyler's now relocated to Portland. So you're kind of stretched all the way across. You mentioned you had some photographers. Yeah,
someone coordinates the photos. She's in New Jersey, and then there's also someone that helps her in Colorado Springs. So yeah, we're all over the place.
Yeah, it's quite a team to network there. Yeah. And New Noise takes off, like I said. You guys are how many issues in now? 30, 40 issues?
32. We're on issue 32.
32 issues. Of print magazine. You guys also have online magazine. Mm-hmm. You guys have daily web content, contests, the whole shebang, right?
All that stuff.
All the bells and whistles over there at newnoisemagazine.com. Check that out if you guys have not already. So how many copies are you printing monthly? Do you know what that is up to? Is it 20,000 or something?
Yeah, it's up there. It's in the thousands. But
I mean, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, and it varies. It varies depending on like what stores pick it up. If we're doing it for any like festivals or tours, we'll print more for those type of things.
Well, like you said, I mean, throughout, it's always been tough to keep a print production going, whether it's a zine, a national magazine, or even a newspaper.
Yeah, the print and like the shipping is almost the most costly part of it, just getting them shipped places.
Yeah, to all the subscribers and everything. Well, it's just exciting to see that continue. So what's your day-to-day at New Noise? I mean, you're putting in hours daily.
Yeah, probably from 8 to whenever I go to sleep.
This is just a day in the life of Tony. So 8 a.m. you wake up, fire up the old computer.
Yeah, sometimes 7. But excuse me.
Wow, 7 a.m. Punch the clock. And punch the time card. Make sure you guys are in it. 7 a.m.
Walk about 3 or 4 feet to my office.
Yeah, right.
Boom, done.
Fire up the laptop and get going.
Yeah. Yep, and that's it. I just sit there most of the day staring at the computer.
And what's that consist of? Just looking at email? I mean, for people that have never been involved in something like this.
Okay, so it's a lot of checking emails. I usually have like 5 tabs open, probably. Maybe 5. And it's like Facebook, Twitter, the back end of the website. We use WordPress. And then I have like Hootsuite, which helps me schedule everything out when it goes up. And then I have, Google Drives open. And then my email. And it's like, those are always open. Like, I open up my browser, and it's just like, they all pop up.
And it's rolling all day long.
It's going.
As soon as it starts.
Yeah, but the beginning of the day is normally, like, getting that day's content up. And then later in the day, once that slows down, like, I stop getting, like, news stuff. Then we go into building the next day's content or, like, content from, like, in the future for, like, premieres and stuff.
And you guys do a lot of exclusive stuff through New Noise.
Yeah.
But a lot of the content is time-sensitive.
Yeah, the premieres and stuff are like scheduled. Like it's
got to be up at 10 a.m.
Yeah,
because 5 websites are going to host it, and if you don't get it up at 10 a.m.,
there's some of that, but most of the premieres and stuff are like just hours. We launch it. If it's a video or something, that can obviously like they can go to ours and like take the embed and go somewhere else with it and post it. But it's whatever. Just go ahead and do that. But like you get getting the jump on stuff is somewhat important. But then
just staying on top, making sure you don't miss stuff.
Yeah, and then just having unique content in general, like cool interviews or cool columns or
you guys have different writers that write in for that.
Yeah, there's hundreds of writers.
Yeah,
it's great.
So you're getting, and who takes the submissions? You look over the submissions, or is that Lisa?
We all do little like different parts. Like I'll coordinate the reviews and stuff. So anything review related gets forwarded over to me. So we kind of have our areas that we're in, and there's a little like overlap for some things. But for the most part, it's like you just forward things to like where it needs to go.
Get stuff rolling.
Yeah. It's like, okay, I handle this here. I'll forward this over. It's out of my way. I'll take care of the stuff I need to. So if people go to our contact page, it's like, okay, email the exact person. Because if you email this person, like you're just slowing them down, and they're just going to have to forward it over to this person.
Yeah, and that can
Or they
take
might
time.
just be like, hey, I ain't got time for this. Like, Goodbye. Send it to the right
come
person.
On. You would never do something
send
like
it to
that.
the right. Absolutely, I would. It's like, send it to the right person.
This guy, whoever's emailed Tony in the past, knows sometimes you don't get a reply day of or
That's
even
right.
week of sometimes.
Yeah. I reply to most, but it's like, this is clearly, you're just fishing, you're just throwing it at everybody.
Yeah.
Because some of them will forward to me as well, and I will see that stuff.
And you're talking 50 to 100 emails a day you're fielding or more.
Yeah, at least.
At least.
Yeah,
I mean, that's if you're on top of things.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yep.
So it's super busy doing all that. New Noise Magazine still rolling strong. Seems like everyone's taken to the new Flexi idea you guys are doing.
Yeah, that was a really popular thing. When we added that, it took off even more.
Yeah, I think that's really
make
cool that you guys,
everybody.
they're adding Flexi vinyl into their subscriptions for anyone that subscribes to New Noise Magazine.
Most of them are exclusive tracks. Like this next one's the exclusive Me First and the Gimme Gimmes track.
Yeah, that's really good.
Cool.
I mean, I'm sure that's going to sell just great and bring a lot of eyes and attention to what you guys are doing. So through that and through traveling with us, you meet a lot of the guys that are involved in La Escalera, Will and Ziggy. For people that know them, they're out of San Diego, record label based out of there. Yeah. And when you move to SoCal, you end up hanging out a lot more with those guys, hanging out at the shows at VLHS, hanging out in all the shows in San Diego.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was a similar situation as you guys. One day, Ricky from Western Settings just messaged me and was like, "Hey, you want to go on tour with us?" And I was like, "Okay, sure." And it was like just to
I can work from my laptop, no problem.
And I could visit all the people I've met from the tours with you guys up and down this coast, and just went from there. And then on one of those tours, me and Will would talk, and I would tell him about hey man, your La Escalera is like really cool. It's like the community that's there. And then I was just like, hey, I want to send out press releases or something so people will cover the bands or releases when you put them out,
and just help grow the label. And the brand.
And then from there it just branched out into hey, I want to help with sales and stuff. I want to help get a distro going, get a website where it's easier.
Yeah, because as busy as Will is, Will owns a print shop.
Yeah,
where he's printing T-shirts year round.
Yeah, he wears a bunch of hats.
So I know he would get backed up sometimes on all that. So it's really cool that you ended up noticing that and also offering a helping hand. Mm-hmm. And I think that's where we come to La Escalera Distro. Which when did that launch? Last year, 2016 or 17?
I think it was 16.
So maybe you guys are now hosting 50 or 60 bands merchandise over there.
Yeah, it's all of La Escalera, obviously, and then anybody else's that wanted. We have a bunch of Def Cow stuff on there. Wiretap should be sending some stuff. Creator Destructor, a couple. We got a few Satan records.
Yeah, so
things
helping out with all the labels we've kind of met along the way.
Yeah, Burns, Tiny Dragon Music. There's a bunch of them, but a lot of them are some bands just sending their own stuff independently, which is good because it helps if it's good for bands that don't have online sales already or something. They're like, hey, I just want to send you stuff. You take care of the shipping. You take care of all that.
Then they don't have to host a web store.
Yeah, exactly. And it's all right, we'll take care of it. We ship it out, send you the money whenever it's bought. Boom, done.
So then rolling with Western Settings on a couple of tours. How is that? I mean, they're known as, they're really getting a good buzz about them. Great band. Close friends to us, to me, and to you. Rolling with those guys on tour, what's that like?
It's pretty fun. They
party pretty good when they're running?
They party pretty well. But it's a responsible party. Or at least there's somebody that's responsible in the party.
And who's in charge? Who's the one looking? Is
I would definitely say Will, yeah.
Will's pulling Ricky down off the ceiling.
Yeah. It's Will, and then Ricky's pretty mellow. He's down. I think most of the people are pretty, there's nobody you have to track down and try to figure out.
At the end of the night, you're not going to wear this.
Everybody's pretty in front. Yeah, everybody's pretty on top of it, but definitely Will is the go-to. I think that's also in part because he runs La Escalera Records, so it's they see him as the businessman or the business side of it, and he kind of is because it's somebody has to do it. And it's
there has to be that guy.
Yeah, so everybody else.
And also, you guys, we've been hanging out over the last week, you and me, but we were just down for La Escalera Fest.
Yeah, the 6th
LE Fest 6.
6th anniversary.
Which you had a hand in, and I think that went really well.
Yeah.
We did shows in San Diego and Tijuana.
Tijuana, yeah. And then it went pretty smooth. And it's grown. We definitely saw an increase of people attending, bands playing, and it just, I don't know, makes you smile whenever you see it happening, and you're just okay, everything's going smooth, and you just look back and you're just man, it's all the work it took to get that to go off
for one night.
Yeah, like
or for
smoothly.
a few nights.
Yeah, it's like just go smoothly, and it's like it does it, and you're just like, okay, thank you, everybody. I don't know how many times you say thank you, but like just waking up and reading everybody's like, oh, thank you, La Escalera, like thank you everybody for coming out. Yeah, it's like just everybody like really thankful.
Yeah,
for
you realize
else.
that you create this moment.
And it's not just us, like, I mean, everybody. Like, everybody that is a part of it. Like, you guys coming down couldn't make it last year, and then you come back this year, and it's like, it was fun.
Yeah, it just turns into something special for everyone. But I think, I mean, you definitely hold a hat of, or maybe even you could say hold a beanie to being behind the scenes on a lot of this stuff. And sometimes it's thankless, you know?
Yeah, which I don't mind that part. Like, I kind of like being able to slip around without
unknown.
It's
and
like
nobody really realizes how much work you're putting into it, you know?
Pay no attention. I mean,
and that's no, I agree, man. And that sometimes is the only thank you get is the guys posting the next day going, Jesus, I'll never get rid of this hangover. And it's like, fuck, that's funny, you know?
Yeah.
Because they had a genuine good time, and that's really cool. So we look forward to seeing La Escalera Fest 7 next year. See, hopefully we'll be down there with you.
Yep.
What's coming up as far as releases? Is there anything with La Escalera we should know about?
Oh yeah, we're pretty busy. What have we announced? We have the Black Dots GPB split that's coming out the 28th, so next Friday.
And hopefully that's on vinyl, 7-inch vinyl.
Yep, 7-inch vinyl and CD and all that. And then we're doing some vinyl releases for like ones that never made its vinyl. Like for instance, Problem Daughters. I hate saying the disorganized fits of blah blah blah. I always forget the name of it.
The record that came out last year.
That one that came out, Dying Scene. It was like, it never got a vinyl release, so we were just like, oh, let's put this out. And they were like, okay.
Those are fun guys. We got to enjoy Tijuana with them, and also San Diego. Actually, we did 3 or 4 shows with them last week.
That last tour at Western Settings Caskitt, Problem Daughter was whenever we got to spend a little more time with them. Like, Regan from the band filled in for Western Settings on their European tour before, like, they had their new guitarist lined up. And then
Mr. Tom.
Yeah, so they grew a relationship over there, and then he went on this tour with them, like Problem Daughter, and like all those dudes are really great.
Yeah, no,
probably
we look
some of my
forward to
favorite
seeing the
people.
Problem Daughter release. So aside from La Escalera Records and Distro, New Noise Magazine, you also work with the Earshot Media, doing a ton of releases, press releases for that.
Yeah, it's like I put on a whole different hat because a lot of that's separate. Like we cover a lot of Rise Records bands, some bigger ones like Flatliners is one of the big ones right now.
So that reach is going to a little bit bigger audience than
that
La
one's
stuff.
And a whole like a somewhat different audience. But I mean, we also do like PR for Bird Attack Records. Recently, Wiretap Records we started doing press for. But it's sort of the same realm. Sitting on a computer, emailing people from music outlets. It's nice to see that side of it versus just the person that's getting those press releases, but actually sending them out.
But yeah,
it's a lot more difficult.
Watching your work actually getting other people's hands. And seeing.
Which is a lot more difficult. Like getting publicists have it pretty hard. Me, I just sit back at the outlet and like you can just accept yes, no, oh, let's do this, no, let's not do that. But
trying to get your bands heard about is a little bit different.
That's hard. So I respect
definitely.
them after starting to do that. I was like, man.
Yeah, I think working both sides definitely will make you a little more sensitive to how you respond to folks and to appreciate it a little bit more. Yeah. Well, through all that behind the scenes work you do, man, everybody truly appreciates it, and I think it's all went a long ways.
Yeah,
we do appreciate you coming out here today. Everyone can see you probably with Western Settings on tour soon, if not at the various dives around LA. Yeah. Where else can everyone find you? NewNoiseMagazine.com.
Yeah, Tony at NewNoiseMagazine.com. If you want to send me an email.
Yeah,
I'll
fill
just
this guy's
ignore
email. Yeah. He may or may not get back to you.
No, or Tony at La Escalera. But any kind of La Escalera shows or like just come to La Escalera Fest. Awesome Fest is going to be happening down there soon. That's a fun time.
Well, that sounds good, man. We thank you again for coming. Any last words for our listeners?
Absolutely not. None.
I didn't expect much more than that. Right on, man. I really appreciate you coming in here. Thank you guys for listening. This is Ryan at 80 West. And for our guest, Tony Shrum, today, you guys have a good day.